well. Let everyone get filled in, get into the room, and then we'll get rocking and rolling. If you guys can hear and see me okay, do me a favor, just drop a one in the chat, say hello, let me know, and we will get straight into it. There we go. Appreciate you all. Get started in a few seconds. I'm going to turn off the waiting room so that everyone can get in. And then we are good to go. Okay, guys, what I want you to do real quick, if there's anyone that should be on this call that has been asking you for the link, who said, oh, what's the link for the training call at 8 p.m., do me a favor and just send it over. No doubt in about 3 minutes, this will start blowing up going, where's the link? Even though it's being posted absolutely everywhere. But first of all, I want to thank you all for taking the time out on an evening. Yes, the call is being recorded. So you should have got a notification when we first got into this. But for those of you who don't know me, you've never seen me before, you've never kind of had the pleasure of my company. My name is Bradley Marchant. I'm currently from the UK, but I live in Marbella right now. Moved here in October, been trading since 2017. Quit my job in 2018 to do this full time. And since then, just been enjoying it. And, you know, the goal with these sessions, what we want to do on a frequent basis, this is going to be every Wednesday at 8 p.m. So cancel that out the diary if you guys are going on dates. If you guys have got the kids to put to bed, listen, give them an extra half an hour, 45 minutes, whatever it is that's required. And our goal with this, as it's always been, is to educate you guys and help you understand, you know, how the markets work, how the trades work, and get you to a point where you're comfortable trading in the financial markets. So again, everything that we say within inside of our sessions, within inside the trades, is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I just fucking love trading. If you also aren't a fan of swearing, my apologies. Every now and again, it does slip out of my mouth because I don't like to hold anything in. I don't have to think about what I want to do. But again, if you can hear and see me, fantastic. And tonight's session, I'm going to share with you a little bit about, you know, how to enter trades, how to adjust your stop losses, your take profits, and also with the extra analysis that we're putting out with inside the community, also like how to understand what that actually means. Because if you're new to this game and you're coming into it and you're thinking, man, I don't really know what that means, that's okay. It's going to take you a little bit of time. And if you're still in the beginning learning phases, you can just use lower lot sizes. You don't have to come in all guns blazing, you know, putting your mortgage on it, you know, because it's going to end one way, right? And the goal with this is for you to stick around and be here in 6, 12, 18 months, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, and saying, listen, I'm glad I took that advice. I'm glad I took that guidance. Everything that we provide with inside the community is free of charge. Doesn't cost you anything to join this. The reason that we set that up is so there's no pressure, there's no stress, there's no monthly outgoings there. You know, I just shared this on the 7 o'clock call that, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but if you didn't have to go to work tomorrow because there was no mortgage, no bills, no this, no that, 99% of you wouldn't show up tomorrow, right? You'd be like, sack that, I'm out, I'm done. So we want to make this journey as smooth and as seamless as possible for you. And a lot of it is going to be mindset. A lot of it's psychology based. A lot of it is you versus you. And, you know, again, I would like support and feedback. No one can see the chat, by the way, so don't be scared, you know, to write things in there when I ask questions. But for those of you who've been in the trading game, you've maybe placed a couple of trades, how many of you, honestly, have had the trade in profit, you've closed it early, and it's done another 65,000 pips, and you've closed it? What does your brain then tell you to do psychology-wise? Get in, chase it. You could have made more money, right? You could have made another £4.20 to buy 2 packs of skips, you know, whatever it is. But then the opposite way, your trade's going wrong. You're losing. Rather than cutting that loss and losing a Mars bar or two, I know some of you are up there with the bigger money, so we might be talking like a family size back here. But for those of you who are losing, you adjust your stop losses. You keep your stop losses going. You think it's going to come back eventually. I'll just put more buys on it. I'll put more sells on it. And before you know it, your account's fucked, right? And you sat there thinking, man, why is everyone else winning and I'm not? And all it is that psychological barrier and that psychological battle with yourself every single day when it comes to placing trades. So that's why, well, when we talk about trades and the stuff that we're doing, it's not We're not sending 65,000 trades a day because that's gambling. This is the real markets. You know, we're trying to now the copy is not there. We don't have the emotional attachment to 500 plus people on a copier, because you've got to remember, we can tell you one thing, right? We can tell you one thing. Guarantee you don't listen to it. So if we say trade at 0.01 for every 500 you've got in there, I saw someone the other day with a £300 account trading higher than I was on some of the accounts, right? And I'm like, Jesus Christ, like this guy won't be here in 6 minutes, let alone 6 months. So the goal with this is to give you that understanding, the stability, and also the knowledge and the guidance, how to be here in that amount of time. You know, for when I first got started in this, I share this on every call because I want it to be real and raw. I took a £500 account, blew it. £500 account, blew it. £500 account, blew it. £1,000 account, blew it. Put another £500 account in, got it to 46 grand, blew it. Because I didn't understand how the markets work. I didn't understand my own psychological patterns that I was having within inside the market, which was gambling. Now, fast forward this amount of time to 2024, I'm sitting here making multiple six figures a year from trading because I've detached myself emotionally. Once you get into this, trading is boring. It's boring. The same thing happens every single day with inside the markets. It goes up or it goes down. All we've got to decipher from our side is which side do we get in? Is it a buy or is it a sell? For those of you who don't know that you can buy and sell within the market, you can. It's not like stocks where you have to hold it and then sell it, hold it and then sell it. You can get into the financial markets because there's always someone buying the opposite side. So when we have this, we have the Skool education that you can come in, you can learn from. These recordings will go in there as well. And as you go through this, like a lot of people right now, they're typing questions that aren't relevant to anything that I'm speaking about, right? So the key with this is that if you can just follow the journey and follow a system, you know, the system is designed to save yourself time, energy, and in this game, money. So if you can do that, that's exactly what myself, James, and Curran are designing this to do, is to get you to a point where you can follow that and get you to a point where you're in blues. We don't need 100% win rate in this game. We don't need you, you know, to have 100% success. You can be profitable in the financial markets with 33%. As long as you understand risk management, protecting your capital. Some of you are like a roulette wheel here or a blackjack. You're just going in and just hoping it wins. And guess what's going to happen? It will. You'll win again. You'll win again. You'll win again. And you'll get up to an amount of money that means something to you, like 46K. And then guess what's going to happen? It's going to royally fuck you. Hard. And if you don't learn, guess what's going to happen? You'll blow your account. You'll go in again. You'll do it again and again and again and again. And before you know it, time's passed. You've lost X amount of thousands. Trading don't work. The problem is you. Doesn't matter where you are, what you're doing. You could be doing e-commerce. You could be trading. You could be doing anything. And you're there. So the key with this is to remove yourself from a psychological perspective as soon as possible. Remove the ego, if you will. Remove the energy from it. Like, think of it like Wolf of Wall Street when he's chucking fun coupons off, right? That's what trading is like. It's fun coupons until you press withdrawal. We don't want you guys getting to be professional depositors. Anyone can do that. That's why the financial markets is designed to take your money. 97% of the population fail because they don't master this. So what I'm going to jump into real quick is just a little screen share, just to show you guys, you know, some of the stuff that we've got going on here, and really understanding how the markets work to a perspective where you can see, you know, what it is that we're doing. So let me just jump into a screen share real quick. I'll take you into TradingView. Again, don't feel like you have to know this. This is just me sharing this to you from a visual perspective. So this is gold, right? So for those of you who've never understood trading before, you've got each of these is a candle, right? You have, if we zoom in, you have where, if we just zoom into this bit here. So you have the top, the bottom of the candle, the top of the candle, the high of the wick, and the low of the wick. So all this means here, when you're looking at these candles, right, This is where the market opened. Okay. This is where the market closed. This top of this blue bit here. This high of this wick is where within that 1 hour time period, each of these candles represents 1 hour. So in that 1 hour time period, the height of this candle went to 20, 25, 25, 29, just for example. The low of this was 25.20, just as an example. It opened at 25.21. As you can see on the right-hand side, the black number moving, and then it closed at 25.26. So that's that 1 hour candle there. If we change this to a 2 hour candle, you see how the price is different? It opened, closed, the high, the low. So if we look at this up here, these are what we call time frames. For those of you who've never traded before, you've got the 5 minute, the 15 minute, the 1 hour, the 2 hour, the 4 hour, the daily. So each of these represent candles, right? They're all just time frames. So what we're then going to do is in the market, we're going to look for structure. So we're going to highlight the floor, we're going to highlight the ceiling, and the trade will typically go into here. Oops, it is. I need to lock you. Go into drawing mode. Oops. The trade will typically do this, right? It'll go up, it'll go down, it'll go up, it'll go down, it'll go up. And all we're looking to do is to get into the market at the right time, based on strategy, based on our education, based on trading, all of that other stuff. You know, a lot of people say to us, well, Bradley, what time frame do you trade on? Like, you know, how do you enter the market? You know, what strategy do you use? All of that, when you're beginning this, is irrelevant because you, at the moment, you don't understand what a pip is. You know, I see some people saying that the difference between, for example, if I just do this here from there to there, I see some people, if I just do it lower, saying that from that to there, from 93 to 95 is 200 pips. But that just shows that people don't know the financial markets. Like, understanding pips in this game is key because then you can know how to track, you can know how to do it. So if we know and we can see, you know, how to look for support, how to look for resistance, which resistance is just the roof, right? And then you've got support, which is the floor. Think of it like a little pretty house, if you will, right? All we're looking for is the structure of the house. We're looking for where is it going to go next, what we're going to do, how we're going to get into the trade, you know, what position are we going to take? So if we go to today, right, and we go to the 1 hour time frame, I've put this into what we call replay mode at the moment, right? So I'm going to break down to you the trade that got sent out at 8:59 a.m. for me anyway. That might have been a different time for you based on, you know, you've been in the UK, but this was me. So if we look at this at the bottom here, as you go down, you can see as I move, right, you can see how this goes from 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, so on, right? This was sent at 8:59. At 9:05, you guys can go look at the Telegram group for this. So at 9:05, we sent sell, okay? So if we look at this here, the trade was at, if we just go on one more candle, we go forward one. Okay, so this was, oops, that was it. Delete that. Go into replay mode again, exit replay mode, go into replay, go to here. Okay. So if we go down to the 5 minutes on this, we can see here that's 8:55, 9 o'clock, 9:05, we sent the trade. So we entered the market around here, okay? So we can see, if we just go to this, take out drawing mode, we had our stop loss at 25.30. So if we go to this and we find 25.30, was here. Just go into this a second, 25, 30, 25, 30. So that was where the stop loss was. So what I'm sharing with you here is very, very crucial for you to understand. If we look at the market on structure and on systems, what can you guys see when you just look at this analysis here, right? When you look at this trade, take out anything that's to do with common sense or logic. You don't need to know that. All you're looking for is to the left here. You see this big candle, this wick? That was the last previous high as an example. In this 1 hour candle, in this 1 hour candle, in this 1 hour candle, none of them went above here, right? So if we put our stop loss above this, if this market goes the wrong way, we're taken out and our analysis was wrong. Just understand this. So as the market goes the wrong way, if it goes the wrong way, we're out of the trade regardless, because it's going to continue, because based off of every single thing, analysis-wise, it hasn't gone above there. Look at that. Reject, 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 reject. So based on what we spoke about earlier on, which was just basic support and resistance, we can see exactly what we said earlier on. Boom, 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 boom. So based off of statistics, what do we think that this market is going to do? Just based on what you can see, based on what it's already done. Is it going to go down? Is it going to sell? Or is it going to continue to go high? So I want to see sell. I want to see buy in the chat. Which one do you think it's going to do? Is it going to sell or is it going to buy? Okay. So this is just understanding the basic structure of the market. And again, you don't have to understand this. We do all of this bit here for you, right? So understanding how that is, again, if we drop down back into the 5-minute time frame, right? We entered here. We expected price to go to 25.20, which if we look at this, this was these previous lows here. So we expected this to go to 25.20. We expected it to then keep going down and down and down. So again, just understanding the market and how that works, you know, what today's is. We're then going to see it wanting to go to 25.15. Again, I'll sort all of these out from a numbers point in a minute. We want to see that then go to 25.10. We then want to see that go to 25.05, right? So I'll change these exact numbers now. So 25.20. 20. Then we're going to see this go to 25.15. See this goes to 25.15. This one here was 25. 25.10. This bit's a bit tedious, my bad. But you'll see in a second. And then we had 25.05 as take profit for. Okay. So that there is the basic of what we're looking for with inside of this. So for me, that'd be this. I'd be looking for it to not go above the high there of 25.30, and I'd be looking for that to go down to the previous low. So on a risk to reward basis, right? If this trade plays out in its entirety, it's going to be 2.91, so almost a 3-to-1. So that means that for every $1 you put into the market, you're going to get $3 back. For me personally, I love trades that are 1-to-3, 1-to-4, 1-to-5, because we then know statistically we can lose more than we win. So ideally at this point here, if we're looking at this trade, we'd have loved to see the trade get triggered in a little bit higher, right? So this is where layering comes in. For those of you who've seen and understood the layering scenario, if we know that price, if it goes up here, we're fucked. We lose us money, adios, we're out of here. So if we know that we can then potentially add another trade if it comes to there, still keep our same stop loss, enter the same take profit, maybe even a little bit higher, right? Same stop loss, take profit. Yes, you might be risking a little bit more, but now look, 1-to-3, 1-to-4, 1-to-6. So understanding how all of this works is just putting in the trades. To begin with, don't be greedy. You know, have your take profit as take profit 1. Yes, your risk to reward might be a little bit off to begin with, but you're banking trades, you're banking profit, you're banking, you know, the trades that we put out there. Statistically, we win more than we lose. We had an 80% win rate last month. So if we look at this just step by step, play by play, we got a great rejection there. Guess what? We could have layered here. That would have been another great potential sell. Same entry. we could have kept going. Right? So as we see, these are 5-minute candles. So you guys could have entered the trade here at 9 a.m. 9:45, you could have entered another one. And this is why, you don't have to be on your phone all day, every day. But understanding the structure of the market and how it works, there, look, done. Take profit 1 would have got hit at 11:25. Take profit 2 would have been hit at 1:30. You'd have had take profit 4 hit at 1:35. Right? This might be 12:30 for you guys. So can you be patient enough to not look at your phone for 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 4 hours to potentially make on that entry there, that would have been 200 pips. Is this going to happen every single time? Are we going to make money every single time? Absolutely not. Right? But because most people they're not understanding this. We put these analyses out for a reason, because that's where we see the structure of the market going to. Like, if you understand this bit here, right, just on a smaller time frame, we could be looking for price to go all the way down here, because that's the last price, that's the last place that price rejected from on higher time frames, right? There, we can see all the rejection points. So we could be even trying to hold the trade down to here. Not everyone, I wouldn't recommend doing this, by the way, if you're new to trading, because you'll get burned more than you'll win. That's why we put the different analyses in there for people who are a little bit more further on in their journey. Knowing how to layer trades, knowing how to add potential. Like on this one here, yes, you might have risked 1, 2, 3%. But on this account alone, you'd have made 5.7, 9, 10.4. You'd have made fucking 13% if you'd have just held to TP4. And this is what I was saying to some of you guys at the beginning, is you're letting your stop loss run. You're letting your stop loss run and run and run and run and run, ruining your profits, ruining your account. You're editing your lot sizes, everything like that. But then when it comes to the take profit, you're cutting out before it even hits TP. We have a little rule within inside of our community where when it's 30, 40 pips in profit, we will tell you to move that trade to above entry. And what that basically means is, if I was to show you this here, probably should cover this on a visual. So as you can see now, if we just go back to, go back to this point here, right? Before the trade's actually moved, you're wanting ideally trade to get probably close to take profit 1 actually in this point, it would have been. Before you actually just stop loss. So if you're on your phone on a regular basis and you can see the market moving, right, here you've entered your trade. Once this gets down here, you can move this stop loss to above entry. So this red line now becomes here. We've now got what we call a risk-free trade, okay? The same with this one up here. You could have moved that one to down here. You've now got 2 risk-free trades. So that means that if the market comes back up and taps you out, it doesn't go up here and lose your account. So all you do is you go in, follow the Skool community, we educate everything in there. But as this goes through step by step, you'd have been triggered into them trades. Boom, boom, boom. You've now hit take profit 1. At this point, if you see the market moving down, you've got 2 or 3 trades running, what you can do is hold down the trade, click on modify, and adjust the stop loss from 25.30, which is where it was, to above your entry by at least 10 pips, 15 pips. Yes, in this case, you might have been tapped out at break even, which is fine. It's better than losing. But in this point, you could have kept it and had like take profit 1. This is where understanding pips and risk to reward and everything comes in nicely. And as the market goes on, you'd have cleaned up. And then as the day's gone on, you can see the trades come back up to where it is now. Okay, so when I initially looked at this earlier on, when I was doing my analysis, it was about 4:30, 5 o'clock for me. So if we delete all of this, and we understand that the market is going up, down, up, down, up, down, and all we're looking for is price action, we're looking for things to happen on a continuous basis, then all we're looking for in theory is for price to come back up here to potentially go to the downside. But this is where understanding the more in-depth version of trading starts to come in, and understanding structure and all of that other stuff comes in. Again, you don't need to know that right now. You don't need to understand exactly why the market moves, how it moves. You just need to know that this is something that we've been doing long enough. So if we see price, break this high here, you have to understand that, remember that banks, governments, and hedge funds are trading this. So if we see certain things happen over and over again, yes, we might see price run to the high, but it can't keep going and going and going and going and going and going, because the market's not designed to let everyone win. So if we understand here where he said, if it breaks past resistance and gives us confirmation, then the sell will be invalid. That's the resistance based off what you can see there, right? This is the resistance zone. If price breaks above there, which means a clear candle close, for those of you who don't know that. So if price, let me just show you this here. If price breaks above, where have I got it on here? Ghost feed, okay. So if price closed like that and broke above, that is breaking past the resistance and gives us confirmations, and the sell will be invalid. So what we would have theoretically looked for there, if that was the case, we'd have potentially waited for a break, close of candle, which is these here. We'd have expected that to be higher up, as you can see. So this would have been a break above. We'd have then potentially waited for the market to kind of give some, some of it back, and then we look to enter the trade long as a buy. So while ever the position this morning was in what it was, that's giving us clear indication that the market is going to sell. The market is going to go down. The market is going to look to give us something in there. So with this, whenever you're trading, you don't have to know this information, but it's great for you to see that we might send out an analysis, for example, on Euro AUD, right? You might see us send out an analysis which might say, this is me just spitballing here, but this could be a potential trade, okay? You might see this with movement back up to the, in fact, I'm going to skip Euro AUD because it's a sore subject for a lot of you. So let's just say this bit here, right? We'll do the analysis on this together. So if we were to draw out where price had rejected, is there. Price has hit there a few times. Price has hit here a few times. Price has hit here a few times. And we can even dig into that bit there, okay? So if we're looking at this just from a market perspective, right? In fact, this was sent, I'll break down this one. This was sent on the 10th of September at 9:53. So yesterday morning again. So this was sent where we were looking for entry between 9,700 and 9,710. So yesterday morning, 9,710. Okay, so I don't think this one's even gone yet, to be fair. That might have been invalid. But if we were just breaking down this trade here, we've seen price reject. So if this had been sent out the same as gold, if price would have broken here, these sells that we send out might have been invalid, right? So all we're looking for is the market to continuously do the same thing over and over again. This happens on every currency pair. It doesn't matter whether you're trading US dollar. It doesn't matter whether you're trading, the euro. It doesn't matter if you're trading any currency pair. You can literally go through these to your heart's content, and you can see that the market does the same thing on a scaled out version, like GBP CAD here, look. Highs, rejected. We've got these lows here, market bounces off. You can zoom in a little bit and you'll see certain areas that price reacts and bounces off. So once you get used to seeing this with your own eyes, if we sent you a message now, for example, right, let's go to replay and go to here. If we said that we're potentially looking for a sell position here, right, when price gets up to here, we're looking for, if it breaks above there, it's a no-go zone. However, we're looking for it to potentially come back down to there. So if price goes up, breaks above these highs, the trade is invalid. However, if it comes back up to here and we get a rejection, then we might look for sells once we have confirmation. That's why we always say to you guys, wait for confirmation, wait for the trade. So as we play this out, you know, you can see price comes back up. It doesn't break above the high. So this rejection candle here, if we dig into this, right, this is on the 1 hour, might be what we're looking for. So if we just go back a little bit as an example. See there. So price has come back up. Now, what a lot of people would do here is they would sell instantly. They would start selling, 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 selling because it's come back up. All that might happen next is boom, takes you out of the trade. Everyone's lost. So you've got to wait in this game for confirmation so that when it reacts, so there is a great sign. It's a great sign that potentially, you know, the trade is happening. Then you have the confirmation candle, which shows that we might be, you know, pulling back away. And then all you're waiting for then is potentially for the trade to come back up to here, up to this bit, where we had the rejection from, potentially, depending on the analysis, to come back up there. In this case, it didn't. We might not have caught that trade, right? But you can see that once you see, you know, again, without going too much in depth, you'll start understanding the candles, how the candles look, what they mean, understanding the structure of the market. But again, it's a learning curve for every single one of you that are in here. And the reason that I want to start doing these calls and sharing this a hell of a lot more is because we've been doing this long enough. We know what we're doing. We know how the markets work. So when we hit a couple of stop losses, our phone getting blown up, it's pointless. Like you just, oh, I'm £4 down, I'm £7 down, I've lost £3.63 today, and I put 10 trades on. You're over leveraging, you're over gambling. And I said this on the prior call, it will take you time where the market fucks you enough where you learn. It might cost you 500 quid, it might cost you 50 grand. I know friends of mine that have been trading the same time as me that are 200, 300K in the hole. Plus, because they can't understand the psychology of the trading. They can't understand, you know, the best way to do it. They can't understand, you know, why do others win and I lose? Like there's some people in here that you get 40, 50 pips in profit, but you don't understand what a pip is yet. So you don't understand that shit, that's quite a lot of pips on a movement. You guys are used to trading gold. So gold moves 300, 400, 700 pips like that, quick. Whereas Euro AUD, man, you sat in that trade for months if you're a swing trader, right? So understanding how the market moves, the psychology behind it, and why we enter our trades, we're going to have losses. You know, some of the trades that we sent out, I believe, on Monday are just starting to come into fruition. They're just starting in 30, 40, 50 pips in profit now. Some of you will chin that off because you've got the microwave mindset of trying to fucking be in the market all the time. I want to make money. I want to make money. But then you won't be here in 6 months because you've blown your account, right? Like a lot of people here are trying to rush the process. It's like me. I've started playing paddle twice. It's like me going into a competition, but like, I can win against the world champion. You know, it's like it's an analogy is a great analogy. It's like if you had a professional football team like Man United turning up on a Sunday league football game, who do we think is going to win? It's not going to be the Sun. Actually, they could have a good stab at it, the Sunday league lads. Like there's some good lads in that side that are ex-pros, you know. So we could have a good game, but it'd be funny to watch. And that's all it is, right? Some of you guys have to get your money taken from you by the markets for you to learn. And it's going to be a hard lesson for you to learn over and over and over and over again until you get to a point where you become submissive. And for the guys on the call, I know what you're thinking. Submission makes me an itch with a B in front of it. It doesn't. Actually being submissive to things is actually one of the highest forms of like inner work that you can do. Understanding that some people have the path that you don't. Understanding that some people have the vision that you might not yet, right? So if you can come into this market and you can see the longevity, can you see people making 5, 10, 15, 20 grand a day, right? We've sent you print screens that show that. We've actually held back on showing you guys some of them because some of you are copying the lot sizes of a client that's got 250K in their account. You're doing it with a 1.5K account, right? So if you're getting to that point where it's like, you know, how does it work? This, that, and the other. That's why we created the school. That's why we're doing these lessons. You know, if the trades aren't hitting stop loss and they're not hitting take profit yet, turn this away. I remember driving down motorways, looking like this every 30 seconds. And some of you can 100% attest to this. Like you're driving down a road, you haven't looked at where you are for like 10 seconds because you're like, shit, I'm £2.6 down. Right? So if you could just get to a consistent point with this where you remove all emotion, you remove all of the energy away from the money, and it just becomes fun coupons, fun coupons, fun coupons. And it only becomes real money when you withdraw. I would say that in here, again, correct me if I'm wrong, most people haven't ever withdrawn from Forex. I got into such a habit when, even if I'd made 50 quid in my first week or in a week, I'd withdraw 9 quid and I'd get a bottle of Rioja. I'd treat myself. I would get to a point where I understood, right, every time I win, every time I follow my trading plan, every time I understand that this is the way, I get a reward. It's like kids, you know, you do well, you get candy. You do. I love a bottle of Rioja, yeah. Chateau Neuf de Pape if I've made a good week, you know. Might treat myself to a T-bone or, you know, a bit of Chateaubriand, who knows. But as you're growing this, you know, a lot of people are saying, well, how do I grow my account if I'm withdrawing? It breeds the mentality of that because you're not going to be on a 300, 500,000 pound account for the rest of your life. If you can't handle a 500 pound account, you're fucked when you get big money. Fucked. And this is why, literally, when it comes to this game, when I see people trying to get funded accounts and this, that, and the other, I'm like, bro, you can't even handle a fucking 250 pound account. Great, you might get 200K, but you might as well. I'll send you, if you guys think about getting a funded account, I'll send you my PayPal link. Just donate that money to me. That's all you're doing with them, literally. So all you want to do in this game is have the longevity mindset, the longevity mindset, the longevity mindset. So if you can see that where you're here for the longer game, and you know, I have a great, like a calculator soup, it's called, on the website, and you can see, you know, the longevity of this. You can see the compound interest. You can see it happening, you know, every single day. As you go into this game, you're going to see, right, if I'm here in 6 months, if I'm here in 12 months, if I'm here in a year, if I'm here in 2 years, where could my account potentially be? And that for me was one thing that I really understood, you know, from day one is, right, if I can see that I can turn a 500 pound account into 3 grand in 12 months time, wonder what it's going to be in 18 months time. Wonder what it's going to be in 2 years time. So like, I'll show you this. I know it's in the school, but again, most of you, for whatever reason, don't watch the education. Let me show you this. So if we say, like, just do me a favor, guys, while you're on here, write me in the chat what amount of money you started with, right? What was your deposit initially? Was it 500, 1,000, 10 grand, 3 grand, 70 grand? So we've got 2K, 500, 4.5K, 6.2K, 500, 2K. Someone put 80 grand there, 50K, shit. Got some big numbers on here, 5 grand. Okay, so some of you people that have got big money, this bit here is key to understand. Because if you come in with that type of money, you know, you're not looking at this as something where you're going to try and pull 150 grand out in 2 weeks, right? So let's just say the average client for me, if I was to go through my whole Vantage account, my average client, I would say, puts in about 2.2K average. But if we're looking for daily growth, just 1%, that'd be 5% a week if we were doing, no compound. But we're just going to do Monday to Friday. And let's just say you work a specific job that allows you to put 500 quid a month extra in, right? And you started on Monday next week, okay? That 2.2K in a year, you're in a position where you're all right. you're at 50K, you've started with 2.2, you've put another 6 grand in over the year, and your total investment is worth 58 grand. But let's just knock that down. Let's go from 500 quid, right? You put 500 quid in there. You do it 1% a day, or we can do 3% a week, whatever it is you want to do. Like for me, I love the 1% a day rule because we send enough trades out for you guys to hit that. But let's say you can only put 200 quid in a month, right? Calculate that. 18K. That's some people's salaries. That's some people what they earn in a period of time. So we take that then and we say, right, we're now doing all right. We're going to have 18 grand in there. This is year 2. We're going to do the same again. We're not going to put any more investments in because we've already hit that number. We're happy, right? In a year's time, why are you erroring me? No, okay. There we go. So, 18,000. Okay. In a year's time, 2 years in, you're at 240K. Let's say you withdrew half of that. You had 120K left, right? 120K. And this is again, like good case scenario. But let's just say then you were only aiming for 2.5% a week. You weren't aiming for 1% anymore. You got some structure about you. Another year later, you're at 300 grand. You've already took 100K out. The problem with trading is most people don't have longevity mindset. They've got a microwave mentality where they just want to make quick cash now, which is great. It works. But you're going to get to a point in a couple of months' time where you're going to lose. Because what will happen is you'll do what I did. You'll try to take a 500 quid account to a K, 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 8. And you think, oh, fucking hell, the penny a day double mentality. In however many days, I'm going to have £1 million. In theory, yes. You know, I've got a great guy that I follow on social media. He's doing 100 to 1 million challenge right now. He's at 90K on week 7. Killing it. Right? So again, understanding that this is a longevity game. You're learning the skill sets. Most of you won't want to learn that. That's why there's a difference between Sunday League and Premier League footballers. The best of the best. These guys, they turned up to train on Tuesday, pissed up, fucked about. These guys turned up every day. They sacrificed school, college, relationships, friendships. They sacrificed nights out, parties, weekends. They sacrificed everything. They're now making 100K a week, 200K a week. You can have footballer wages by learning how to understand how a fucking candle goes up and down. Depends if you want it. Like for me, I saw that. I'm not the brightest tool in the shed. I'm great at sales, but I'm not going to be an aerospace engineer jumping into space. That's flat. Oh, we won't go down that route. I know that's just triggered someone. But again, understanding that you can have whatever you want financially in 6, 12, 18 months, 2 years, 3 years. Like out of this group, I'm amazed that there's 150 on this call. That's 25%. So out of a group of 600 people-ish, we've got 25% of the people on the call. I know some of you guys might not even be in the mix right now. I don't care. But I just want to share with you what goes on behind closed doors if you are new. Put this out to a few people, said they can share it. But for me, understanding the psychology, the mindset, the learning aspect of this, there's a reason we don't teach you about the strategy that we use, the time frames, everything like that, because once you start psychoanalyzing that you think you've got it, you've lost. I had someone today say, I've been trading for 3 years. Great. How long? Full-time, part-time? Part-time. Great. You're still an amateur. Because you've been doing this for 1 hour a day, maybe, on an evening, which is great. That's more than a lot of people. But there's some people who will come home from work, they'll study their asses off, and in 6 months' time, they've done more than some people do in 6 or 7 years. So that's why, for me, creating these calls, doing this type of content, getting feedback from you guys is so key, because then I can take this information, I can put that into Skool, I can educate you guys, and it costs you nothing but time. Right? Most people come into this and they give me such bullshit excuses. Right? I had some guy say, I can't turn up to the call because I'm cutting my grass. I'm looking outside. I'm like, is he in a different time zone than me? It's fucking pitch black outside. You know, what's he doing? Like cutting his grass with clippers or what? So when it comes to this, understanding the long game, you know, is it rewarding 100%? Is it going to be volatile at times? Yes. Are you going to want to quit? Yes. Are you going to get to a point where you want to chuck it all in? Yes. Listen, we're all human. If you haven't blown an account yet, drop a 1 in the chat. I want to see this for a real number. If you haven't blown it, and again, don't lie to yourself. Only I can see this. Some of you are typing 1. I've seen you redeposit. Right? You've sent me print screens of minus 650. I saw you put 500 in. The reason you haven't blown an account yet is because you topped up when he nearly margin called you. Let's be honest. Right? So as you go through this, understand that if you haven't blown an account yet, you're one of the 3% that could still make it in 6 to 12 months' time. Right? So as we go through this, you know, don't over leverage, don't gamble, don't try and hit the home run, the Hail Mary, the slam dunk, whatever you want to call it. But as you go through this, you're going to get to a point where your emotions, your psychology, like your inner version of you is telling you don't do it. How many of you have pressed buy or sell on a trade too many times and gone, the internet skipped? Right? That used to be one of my favorite tricks. I used to send a print screen in a 74 trades on gold. I'd be like, oh, fucking internet didn't work. I was hoping I'd turn that into £1 million, right? But just to let you know, that 46K account that I had, that I was trading on Dow Jones, if I'd have cut it off at stop loss, I'd have lost £145. But my brain wouldn't let go of that trade. So it ended up becoming 200. I put another sell on. 500, put another sell on. 1,000, put another sell on. 2 grand, put another sell on. Because it was when COVID was happening. I was like, man, this has got to come down at some point. Boom, 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 boom. I'm minus 40K. I'm thinking, man, there's 6K left. What's 6K? Fuck it. All in. It got to minus 46,000. I had 46,900 and something in my account. It got to a point where margin call was getting this. I did this, manually closed every single trade. It was at 1:49 p.m. Guess what happened at 2? The market dropped 1,000 points. If I'd not have closed them manually, I'd have made just under $500,000. But I lost 46 grand. My mum comes upstairs, do you want some cheese, onion crisps in a sandwich? I'm like, fucking, I've just lost 46 grand, mum. Oh, fuck. Like, excuse my French. Like, just split with my missus, moved back home, lost all my money. My mum thinks I'm playing on demo account. I'm like, mum, I'm 46 grand down here. I might be here for the rest of my life. You know, I can't afford crisps, let alone the bread, you know. And that had to be I was sick for like 2 months. I couldn't understand, like, why me? But then I had that same mentality when I go to the roulette machine. I used to take the card. Now I just take cash, right? So I have an amount. And the great thing is, it's funny now, me telling it, like, I can laugh about that now because it makes me where I am now. But some of you guys haven't been through that yet. Man, I got greedy. I'm thinking, man, 46K. If this hits take profit 36, right? Not just TP1. Take profit 36. Like, all of it had to do it. It did do that, by the way, in 9 minutes, just to let you know. I'm like, man, $500,000. I can get the Aventador in baby blue. Man, I can pay my mum's mortgage off. There's only 40 grand left on that. I can get my house. Next thing I'm thinking, shit, have I got any crypto left? Like, what have I got left? I've got buttons. Do they accept that as form of payment now? They didn't. So again, understanding the emotion, the psychology that goes behind it, you have to go through these processes. And I'm sharing this from an emotional standpoint from me, because if you haven't had it yet, you're gonna have moments where you're buying and selling, and you've got that many buys and sells on, You don't even know which way the market is going anymore because you're just seeing red, 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 red. And you're thinking, shit. Before you know it, you've got 60 buys on 2 sells. You close the wrong one, it blows your account. That's also happened. That was with 8 grand. But again, that's another story. So that's why my key on this message was patience is key, right? People don't, listen to this, people don't turn up on these calls who don't know how to trade, who don't know how to place trades because they think they know it. Oh, I'm not going to turn up. I already know how to put stop loss and take profit on. I'm like, you're on your 50K account. You've blown it. But they don't show up. Yet people who, like myself, I still turn up to training calls for my stuff. I still try and learn. I still try and engage. I still try and get better. It's like Cristiano Ronaldo never going to play football again because he already knows how to do it. Guess what would happen real quick? He'd get dropped. The team would get rid of him. They'd sell him. He'd end up looking like Wayne Rooney. For those of you who've seen what he looks like now. He's about 42 stone overweight. Right? So again, having the long-term mindset of this and becoming a master in it versus just a participant. I can get all of you to go deposit today and tell you that we're going to make billions in the next few days. I'm not sat here with a rollie on. I'm not sat here with an Aventador outside on rent, on tap. And by the way, for those people who hate on people who rent Aventadors, they're still 4K a month, which is more than most people are taking home, right? So if someone's got it on tap, great, fair play to them. If that's what they want to do, I'm not sat here renting shit and buying shit just to look cool on Instagram. It's not me. I enjoy my life. I'm in Marbella. I've got what I've got. I enjoy what I enjoy. I do what I do. And if I can help someone not have the same mistakes and the same bullshit that I did from day one, no one was guiding me. I was just flipping a coin, buy or sell. Flip a coin, buy or sell. Flip a coin, buy or sell. Putting buys and sells on because I didn't know which way the market was going to go. One's going to hit me in profit eventually. No stop losses. It's like I've been on a roller coaster with no fucking seatbelt on, right? Like, oh, we might win, we might lose, we might die. Who knows? But some of you are coming into this too emotional. Like, I got a print screen today, 17 pence down. You can't even get a fucking Freddo with that now. For those of you who remember Freddos, chomps. Can't get a decent pick a mix, right, for that amount nowadays. 17 pence. I'm like, my reply was, is this going to change your life? He's like, no, but I've been looking at it for the last 2 hours. I'm like, right, you've got a problem, right? You have an emotional problem, right? So when it comes to this, remove all of that. Go buy the book, Trading in the Zone. It'll be the best 40 quid you ever spend. Read the first 17 pages. You will learn why you are how you are trading. Fact. I read that and I was like, if only I'd have listened to that on day 1, not year 3. Right? Good. But again, my ego was through the roof. It is what it is, right? So get Trading in the Zone. It's going to cost you 30, 40 quid on Amazon, next day delivery. If you go onto my YouTube, in fact, I'll show you on here. You can go onto there and have a look at it. I've got the audio because so many people are asking me, where do I go for the audio? Where do I do for this? So literally, I've down some of the stuff that I listen to on a regular occasion. I will put into, where is it on here? My videos. Share my screen. So again, where is it on here? Did I put it on actually? Is it on my YouTube? It's in here somewhere anyway. Watch this, by the way, if you haven't done already. But again, I'll ping it in here. I know it's in my YouTube somewhere. But again, getting you to a point where you feel, no emotion to the trade. You don't feel attached to it. You don't feel attached to the money. Get you guys to a point where you're consistent on this. Any questions that you've got, keep them to yourself. I'm joking. Now, I want you guys to get to a point where this where you're winning. That's what the Facebook community is there for, the Skool community. Talk as much as you want in there. Ask questions, right? So if you're not in the community already, reach back out to whoever, put you on this call. Reach out to myself. I'll help you guys get started. It's a very, very simple process. Again, we've been doing this for long enough now. It's like feeding ducks. I was going to say them. That's such a weird analogy. Who goes and feeds ducks? But anyway, I'll stop the recording here and then I'll take anything that's a little bit more direct.